Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to go over another set of RuneLite plugins that I find extremely useful and will actually change your game in I think a positive way. RuneLite is truly one of the best resources for old school RuneScape players. They have a ton of useful plugins, a ton of extra information that's not available in the base client, and generally just amazing to have. This will be like my fourth video on RuneLite plugins, and I still haven't ran out of useful plugins to look at. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoy and let's get started. So let's start things off with RuneLite's newest plugin, or one of the newest ones anyway, and that is called the Inventory Grid plugin. Now this one won't be on by default, but if we come over here to the Inventory Grid plugin, we'll hit on the plugin configuration first and we'll turn it on. Now what this will do is actually add a grid to your inventory when you attempt to move an item. So for example, whenever we try to move the Super Restore, it's going to pop up with a little background grid, which is extremely useful for placing items in your inventory. If you quickly want to organize a trip to Zulrah, doing raids, it's really just extremely useful for setting up your inventory. Without the plugin on, you're kind of just guessing where the item's going to land. What the fuck? Yeah, so that's a great example. But with the inventory grid on, you can see exactly which tile it's going to go into and be able to move things more consistently. So there are a few options here. If we just put on the highlight background option, it's just going to show you the green box. If you want the grid, which I think is generally the more useful part here, you can turn the grid on. And if you want to show the item as you move it, you can turn that on as well. Another really useful plugin that I personally find extremely handy is the clan chat plugin and a specific option for it. So we're going to type clan chat in the search here, and one of the kind of newer useful options is the clan tab chat option. Now what that is going to do is if you're actually in the clan tab, you will not need to type a slash before talking. You're just going to switch between the tabs. So for example here, I'll say that right out loud, and if I type right into the clan chat, boom, no slash needed. Saves a little bit of time, although you do need to get used to this being on, or you're going to be typing everything in the clan chat. Now one problem I used to have a lot was attempting to identify all of the herbs and seeds in my bank, but no longer is this an issue with the item identification plugin. Now this plugin should be on by default, but if it's not, you want to come down to the item identification plugin. Ooh, actually I didn't realize you could do it for herbs as well. We'll turn that on. So here's what it normally looks like. Herbs are a little bit more identifiable than the seeds or the saplings, but we'll turn it on anyway. And we can see that it kind of does a shorthand of the text here. We can turn it on to a longer length if we wanted to. Guam, Marintil, Quorum, Irid, Marintil as well. I'm not really sure if I think that takes up too much room or not. That's okay, I suppose. Anyway, we'll leave it on medium for now, but we can see that all of the herb seeds now have their name below it, which is useful because the sprite for seeds especially are the exact same. It does also work for saplings. Anyway, I find this extremely useful. A few months ago, an extremely useful plugin was added. Hey, everyone get out of here, god damn it. And that was the quest search plugin. For those who have had trouble looking for specific quests, there's now an extremely useful usability feature that allows you to search for individual quests. Now if it's not on for some reason, you want to come over to the quest list plugin and turn it on, and you will notice there's going to be a little bit of a magnifying glass here and a toggle as well. Now there are a few toggles to begin with here. You can show all of the quests. You can only show quests that have been completed. Not really sure how useful that is, but the ones that aren't done is actually quite nice. And on top of that, there is a search function for specific quests as well. So for example, let's look up Monkey Madness 2, and it will automatically sort the quest list with your parameters. It's really nice, it's really instant. Demon Slayer, boom. If you just look up cat, you can see any quest that has the word cat in it, or catchers, I guess. It's a really useful search function and probably one of the best quality of life updates to RuneLite. Now there's a feature that I personally find really useful, and that is, well, the XP Tracker plugin, but recently they've added more usability to it where you can actually put the canvas onto your screen, and especially for video production I think it's extremely useful. All you need to do is right click on one of the XP trackers at the side here, and you can actually add it to the canvas, which will chuck it on your screen, and at that point you can move it around with the Alt button to anywhere you want, and it's going to show you the exact same information that is on the sidebar. Really useful for me because I don't generally have the sidebar visible in my videos, and it's a lot easier to just kind of chuck down the XP tracker on the canvas as opposed to stretching out the video or anything like that. Now this will change if you set goals as well. So for example, if we come over here and set a goal for strength. Now this section here isn't actually a RuneLite plugin, but it's still very useful. If we want to configure the strength, put the endpoint, and we'll put it level 99 strength, how about? Accept that. And now when we attack a guard, it's going to change our goal. And if we add it to the canvas, we can see exactly how far away we are. Hey, I could even pretend it's right above my head. Now overall, the Barrows plugin is extremely useful, but they just added in recently a new feature to it. Yes, I forgot my ranged weapon. I was just trying to do this quickly, but I messed up. Okay, so to begin with here, well, it does indicate which doors you can walk through, so that's extremely useful. So I would turn it on just for that. But recently they actually added in a solver for the Barrows door puzzle, which while it's not a complicated puzzle or anything, you only have about like 0.5 milliseconds to complete it before a stupid worm will attack you. So having an actual indicator makes it way easier. I'll never actually need to remember them all anymore. Okay, so we made it around to the correct door. So normally there would not be an indicator, but right now there's actually a green box around it, which lets you click it extremely quickly, allowing you to get through the door without any hassle. Let's go ahead and just loot this Barrows chest here. Come on, something for the video. Damn it. Now another plugin that was recently added that I think is extremely useful is the mining plugin. For example, when you normally mine a rock, it will deplete and you'll kind of just wait for it to respawn. However, if we go turn on the mining plugin, it will now show an indicator when the rock will actually respawn, a visual indicator, which I think is extremely useful, especially for power mining, even if you're going for higher level ores as well, where you know it's going to take a long time to respawn. For example, silver, we can see exactly when that's going to come back up. If you're competing with bots over stuff, that can be extremely handy as well. Now for stuff like Runite, it won't be that useful because you're generally going to be hopping worlds, but for some of the more mid-tier rocks, especially in free-to-play, like I said, it's going to be a very nice plugin to have. Honestly, I see no reason not to turn it on. It's not really that intrusive or anything, and could help out quite a bit. One very useful plugin that I have seen a ton of people using but never really used myself is actually the commands or command plugin. So there are a bunch of different types of chat commands, and essentially what it will do, it will say in the public chat certain information about your account, item prices, kill counts, stuff like that. Now generally you access them by putting an exclamation mark before a certain command. So for example, if you want to do quest points, you do exclamation point quest point, and it will show your current quest points, which is 201 for me. Now another one I see people using a lot is the price command. So for example, you're going to type in exclamation mark price, and if we do shark, for example, it's going to show us the GE price for shark, the high alloc value. Pretty useful actually when you're not at the Grand Exchange, although you can also use the price checker, something I never really take advantage of. For example, if we're going to look up shark, chuck it in there, it'll show us the average price for shark currently. But the quick commands are extremely useful, and I'm going to start using them more often. Now, a plugin I think that everyone should have on is the Daily Task Indicator plugin. Now, I'm not logged in yet, as it will display as soon as you log in. But if you come over here to the Daily Task Indicator, turn it on, it'll show you a bunch of dailies. While RuneScape doesn't have a lot of them, there are still a few. For example, claiming battle staves, claiming your essence, claiming your sand, bowstrings. It'll also throw in the Tears of Guthix indicator in there, or that may be part of the base client. I don't actually see the option here, but it will alert you of that as well. So right when you log in, it'll display any tasks that you have not yet completed for that day. So for example, stuff that I can do is collect herb boxes from Nightmare Zone, collect battle staves from Zaf, get sand from Bert, and a boat meal and slime from Robin. That's a fucking stupid name. Just a general usability plugin I think everyone should have on, and hopefully it is on by default. And the last plugin I want to talk about today is the Regeneration Meter plugin, or the Regen Timer plugin. Essentially what it will do is it tracks your health regeneration as well as your special attack regeneration. So for example, here we can see a little orb slowly filling up, and when it's filled, it will give you 1 extra hit point. Now the HP regeneration one isn't that useful because generally you're not going to be relying on your HP regen as sustain, but there are certain circumstances where you do just wait around for your HP to respawn. Now the more useful one for me is the special attack regeneration. Now you can see the special attack orb here, and when that bar is full, it will give you 10 more special attack energy, I believe. Now that one actually is pretty useful because that's only 10 cycles until you will have full special attack again. Now this is especially useful for PvPers, but also if you're just doing PvM and you want to know exactly when your special attack is up again. And you can see we're up to 35 special attack now. Anyway guys, that is pretty much it for the video. Those are 10 extremely useful RuneLite plugins that I use pretty much every day. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you think I missed anything, I do have, 3 other videos like this, which should have other plugins in it. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.